Hi, and welcome to Toni Time. We have a very, very special lady here. And how can I describe Jenna? If I were to have children and I had a daughter, she would be my daughter. She would be the child I would want. So without any further ado, no matter what time of day it is, go get your coffee, your cocktail, whatever it is, and enjoy this wonderful show we're going to do. Jenna, welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
You are, I really meant what I said. I mean, if I were to have a daughter, you would be the daughter I would want. Because you have this personality and healthy energy, and your mind is all over, and it's very creative, and I love it.
Thank you.
So with that being said, I don't know if any of you heard of what they call cosplay. Jenna is a cosplayer.
Yeah.
So explain to the audience what cosplay is and how you take part in it.
Well, cosplay is dressing up as a favorite character of yours or in a group as said character and just being or acting as that character.
Okay.
So
When Jenna and I first met in Portland, I walked in, I didn't know what I was walking into, and here's this young lady sitting there at the table, and a group of us women were there, and somehow she knew my name, and she knew I was the original Spider-Woman, which I was shocked that anybody in this group would know that, number one. But she did because she knows Matt at the comic book store on Main Street, who we've had on our show and we have to get back on. So we start talking about the cosplay and what she's doing. So now, you make costumes.
I do.
Now, do you have a favorite superhero? Do you?
Oh goodness, I have a lot of favorites.
Do you really? I mean,
I
really?
do.
I mean, what really gets you into a character, the way they...
So what really gets me into a character is I like bad storylines. I like characters more than I like storylines. I will pick up a character. Let's see here. Right now, my two favorites are Supergirl and Spider-Gwen.
Yeah. Okay.
I also love Spider-Woman, but I'm more of Spider-Gwen, mainly just because of the costume.
Right.
So,
Spider-Gwen's costume now, it's the same color as Spider-Woman's, but it's kind of made differently, isn't it?
it is. It's completely different. It's actually a hood. Like, it looks like a hoodie. White,
Really? Okay.
a white hoodie with spider webbing. It's got the same bloodish red coloring on the
All right.
sides, and it's got a bit of on the inside of the hood, and then it's got a teal webbing on the inside of the web, or in the inside of the hood. The outside is white, and then she's got the
Completely
white mask.
Wow, I have to see this. I really do.
Yeah.
No, Jenna's been filling me in on what's happening in the comic book world, where Peter Parker.
The Spider-Verse.
Yes.
Yeah. They ended up taking a story arc where they did this whole thing where there's a bunch of different Spider-Men and women and things.
Yeah.
My favorite being Spider-Ham or Spider-Pig. He's a big ham of a character who was a spider who got bitten by a radioactive pig.
Okay.
And now he's like this little chibi, little tiny ham who's a figment of Gwen's imagination.
Gwen is now Spider-Woman.
No, she is, well, technically it's weird. She has her own comic book called Spider-Gwen,
Right.
as the fans dubbed her, Spider-Gwen. In her reality, she is Spider-Woman. She is also in a band called, wow, I'm going to not remember the name of the band.
Okay.
But it's her own band, and it's got Mary Jane in it.
Mary Jane, that slut.
But it's okay because Gwen Stacy died.
Okay.
So, but that's a whole different reality.
Hold it. Okay. All right, go on.
But yeah, Gwen Stacy, I just love her comic for Spider-Gwen. And it's as if Gwen Stacy got bit as opposed to Peter Parker or any of the other people who got bit in the other realities.
Uh-huh.
So.
Okay. All right. Now I want you to know Spider-Gwen is pregnant.
No, that would be Spider-Woman.
Spider-Woman is pregnant.
Is who you were, which
Right.
was Jessica Drew.
Right.
So, but yes, Spider-Woman is pregnant.
And I have no idea.
And
I'm not telling you who the father is.
and then you punch out Tony Stark because he has the audacity to ask you in front of a bunch of people.
Oh, that.
So that's
whore.
Tony for you.
That's Tony for you. Okay, so okay, we have this whole universe. You're not losing your mind. You're not. Okay, so now coming back to you.
Yes.
How long have you been doing cosplay?
I'd say about 10 years now.
What brought you into it?
Well, I started doing costuming stuff for theater.
Okay.
I went to college for music.
Okay.
And I just started sewing costumes for the different productions I was in. And then somebody was like, hey, you should do this character. And I'm like, okay, why?
Yeah.
It's a TV show. Why would I dress up? I'm too old for Halloween. And they're like, oh, but there's all these different things you can dress up at. And I'm like, all right. And then somebody told me about a convention here in Maine called PortCon,
Yeah.
and that I should go and dress up for it. And I thought it was
Wow.
crazy. And then I went and I'm like, oh, this is actually a thing. So I made a costume and I made a lot of new friends.
Wonderful. Wonderful. When you were a little girl, did you act things out? Were you an only child? Were you?
Yeah, I acted things out a lot. I lived in a fantasy world. I had a younger brother, have a younger brother, who thought I was crazy. He still thinks I'm crazy.
Well, I mean, he's how old now?
Oh, I don't even remember. I think he's going to be 30 soon.
Okay, so he should know better now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and you're married. You
Yep.
have a son that's
Yep.
8 years old.
Yep.
So your household must be quite
Filled with fabric and
filled
costumes,
with costumes.
and all kinds of geek memorabilia.
So how did you meet your husband?
About, I want to say 8 years ago, and before, there was a comic book store here in Biddeford called Maiden Games. My roommate and his partner owned it, and they invited me in to run a D&D campaign for National D&D game, or
What's D&D?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons. Okay.
National Game Day. And I was the only one who signed up to be a game master or GM for the session. And I got up on the couch to call everybody over to pick out their characters and stuff. And me being the klutz that I am, I spun around and fell face first into his lap.
Oh, did you really?
I did. And he just kind of looks at me and just like, well, like, hi.
Oh my!
So-
And that's how you met.
Yep, that's how we
You
met.
fell right into his lap.
Yep. And then he invited me back for pizza and we had fun.
Wow!
It was a good night.
It was a good night. So
Yeah.
that's how you met your husband. Now he must be a gamer.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you've seen, because when I was on the road a few years ago, well, about 5 years ago, and I owned my talent agency, we worked with gamers with Nintendo,
Yeah.
and we worked with gamers for this thing they had that went around the country where Dr. Pepper and Bic Shavers and all of them had their own gamers, so it was a competition
Okay.
going on, and I think it's still going on. And I mean, these kids make lots of money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And where a lot of these kids, I mean, it became that whatever city I went into, I would see the same group of people. And it's just a big business. So if he's a gamer, wow,
Oh, he is.
yeah. So tell me now, you have a son,
I do.
and he's 8 years old.
Yes.
What's his name?
Isaac.
Isaac. Okay, so tell us the story when you picked Isaac up from school.
Oh. So let's see here. Well, there's many different stories. There's well, actually, I'll deviate a little bit. His teacher knows that I make costumes, and last month there was National Read Aloud Day for literacy. I do various Disney princesses, so I dressed up as Merida
Okay.
from the Disney movie Brave. A lot of little girls love her because she's very, very outgoing and very much, she never wants to get married to somebody she doesn't pick, so she speaks her own mind.
Okay.
So I came and I showed up at his school dressed as Merida, and I walked down the halls, and I didn't tell Isaac that I was going to be at his school, and I knock on the classroom door, and everybody just stops because they see Merida is there, and he's just like, Mom, Mom, why, Mom? so, so we've had many conversations with him because he's got what used to be called Asperger's, so he has a tendency to not be able to separate fantasy, or not be able to accept reality as fantasy, or I'm really bad at describing it.
Yeah.
But he sees a costume. He's so used to seeing people in costume
Yeah.
that when other kids see like a Disney princess, like at Disney World, or even
Right.
Santa Claus.
Right.
Ever since he was about 2 or 3, he's like, that's not really, that's a costume. So he's kind of disconnected from that whole state
Okay.
of disbelief that kids tend to have. So we have to have this conversation about every month of, just because you see it as a person doesn't mean that another kid is going to see it the same way.
Right, right.
You need to let the kid believe that it's really that character.
Yeah.
Like I have friends that dress up as Batman or any of the Ninja Turtles.
Right.
And when the kids see them, he's like, oh, it's not really Batman. And I'm like,
Yeah,
no,
you
it
can't
really
do that.
is.
Yeah,
You
okay.
can't tell other kids that. Or when one of his teachers showed up for the Star Wars premiere in a Chewbacca costume, he's like the teachers are trying to explain to these kids when he takes his mask off that, oh, it's just a person in a costume, and Isaac's just like, yeah, whatever.
Okay, that's,
So
wow. So
But-
that's very difficult on you and your husband.
it
'cause
can be, but we're used to it by now. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, now, the fact that he can't make the disc, will that go away with time?
I don't know, but
Okay.
whatever. We love him, so it
Well,
doesn't
of
really
course.
matter.
Of course.
It doesn't matter to us as long as he's able to let other kids be other kids and know that
Yeah.
even if it's something that he has, there's other kids that have the same thing. So
Right. Okay.
it's just a part of him.
Wow. Okay. So is there another story from school pickup? I want to hear this.
Oh, so I'm sure everybody knows Big Bang Theory.
Yes.
So I'm sitting there with a couple of my friends, and we're watching the ending of Big Bang Theory, and he walks in. And all of a sudden, it's an episode with Star Trek and all that, and he walks in, and Sheldon's like doing the whole live long and prosper thing, and instead he goes, live long and suck it. And Isaac just, I think nothing of it. And
Yeah.
then he wants to learn how to do the whole Vulcan
whole-
hand
yeah.
sample. And I'm like, okay, sure, your hands are so tiny. I can't even imagine. And so he's practicing, and then my husband comes home from work, and he's like, so what did you learn today at school? Or what did you learn today? I don't think he even added school in. He's like, so what did you learn today? And he holds up his Vulcan thing, and he goes, live long and suck it. And we're just like,
Your husband must
that's
have just
not
been
what I taught
speechless.
you, but yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a ham. Isaac he has like the best sense of comedic timing.
Yeah.
And he knows it.
Right.
So he'll do all these hilarious things, but then he's like, okay, he doesn't know when to stop.
Yeah.
You're like, it's only funny once.
Right. Not 10 times.
Yeah,
Oh,
So-
wow. So now tell me, you go on the road
I do.
and you've won quite a few contests.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about the competition. Tell us about when you do go on the road, or what trade show or what you're appearing at.
Oh, There's so many.
No, there are.
I guess locally there's PortCon, which is in June. PortCon, Maine is a all-around nerd convention or geek convention, depending on which one you want to use. It started off as they've got all different genres in there, but it started off as being mostly anime and video game. Anime is Japanese animation. And then they added in comic books, sci-fi,
Wow.
fantasy TV show. We've got all kinds of authors that come in, and costuming. It's a huge part of the con where people will come dressed up as their favorite characters. That was the first one I actually started
Yeah.
at. So it's kind of like my home con. And I worked my way up the ranks, so to speak, with my costuming. So now I'm actually one of the craftsmanship judges. So
Wow, Jenna, that's
I
great.
judge people.
How's that feel?
It's kind of intimidating sometimes because a lot of times I'll get all these masterwork people who are in the master's label. I'm like, you have so much detail in your costume. You're so much better at certain points than I am. And I'm like, I just wish I could do some of these things.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's like Dancing with the Stars.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, you get out there, and I mean, I know when I was traveling as Spider-Woman, Comic-Con in San Diego was
Oh,
the
yeah.
big.
It still is. It's huge.
Just amazing. If you can ever go to Comic-Con,
Oh yeah. I've been to several.
they're great.
They are.
They are the best trade show because I went to a couple here, and I ran into a gentleman. He has a company called Skeleton Crew, which I've had him on the show, and all the novels of comics like Key and Chew and all those. He makes the things that are in the book. Like if there's 9 keys
Right.
to open, he
Right.
does the
Yep,
keys.
I know him.
You know him?
Yeah. Well, I know Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know them.
Yeah, Israel.
Yeah.
Israel Skeleton.
Yeah.
Well, when I met Israel, I was looking to find an appraiser for my costume because I thought, it shouldn't be sitting in the
Right.
closet, and really, I need to get it out there. So when I walked into the show in Portland, it was like, this is so small, because I'm used for like 20 years, the mega. I walk in there, and something drew me to him. And I went right to Israel, and he was on the phone with his wife, and he said, hold on, honey. And I said, is there an appraiser around here? I have a Spider-Woman costume, and I really, really want to see if I can talk to an appraiser. He says to his wife, he says, honey, I'll call you back. And he looked at me, he says, you're the original. He said, in comic book, I think it was number 15,
Yeah.
where they had my chin showing.
Right.
You know about the chin?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes. He said, that's what started my career.
Nice.
That comic book started my career. He said, do you have the costume in the car? I said, yeah. He said, do you have that comic book? I said, I have all of them.
Wow.
So he said, can I come out and see it? And I said, sure. So we go out to my car, and I open the trunk, and he goes, oh my God, look at your webs. Look at this. Look at this. And he was almost in tears. So he goes back to the booth, and he calls his wife, and he explains all this. So I said to him, I said, I'm going to walk around the show. I haven't walked around the show in a while. So I did, and all of a sudden, I think he was telling people and whatever, they're all coming up, and do you remember in this comic book, and do you remember this? And it was really cool. Then after that, Israel and I said, I want to have you on my show, bring your product. And I've had him on twice. I'm going to have him on again. But wow, what a super guy. What a super, super guy.
In fact, the next convention that I'm going to, he's going to be there as well.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, tell him that we know each other.
Oh, I will.
I mean, he will just, talented man. Now, I did send his stuff to Nintendo.
Oh, yeah?
He doesn't know that. And I did that a while because I really think they can use him. And they don't move very quickly on things. But because I had worked with Nintendo for 10 years, I know the people, and I sent the show to them so they could see him. So I really think he's a very talented man. So I'm glad you know him and say hi for me.
I will.
Yeah, but the comic books or the comic book conventions
Yes,
are amazing.
they are.
I mean, there are groupies. There are. Now, when you get out there and you're going to do a costume, and I mean, that's a lot of work.
It is.
And we're going to show you photos of Jenna's costumes that she made. When you get out there and you know, okay, I'm going to be Spider-Woman or I'm going to be whoever. Okay, you start to make that costume.
Yeah.
You're going to get into the mindset, right? So it's just going to be you alone, or will you have other people around you?
Yeah, so I am a huge proponent of what are called cosplay handlers.
Okay.
I'll bring, and a lot of cosplayers even will bring 1 or 2 people to either, depending on what the costume is. A lot of times, like if it's a skin tight bodysuit, it'll be like you only need 1 person to help you do whatever maneuverability.
Hold on. A handler is if the costume is so big and they can't see, they have somebody helping
Yeah.
them. Go on.
Yeah. So what my husband does is I have like people stop you to take pictures all the time. There have been times where I like, especially I have a, she's called American Dream. A lot of people confuse her for Captain America
Okay.
because she's a spin-off of Captain America, basically. Latex suit with the Captain America shield. And she, like, I've made it, at some conventions, I'll be standing in the same place for 2 hours because so many people want, like, pictures
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
of me. And I think I was trying to get from point A to a bathroom. And it took me 3 hours to
Oh
get
my
to the bathroom. And it's just ridiculous. So having somebody with you to hand out, like I hand out business cards, or I have what is called cosplay collector cards. A friend of mine, Johnny Ruckus, does cosplay collector cards where they have different cosplayers are a different number, and it's like
Okay.
baseball cards, collecting
Right,
baseball
right.
cards. And I have my own, and it'll tell you where to tag photos on Facebook, where to tag photos on
Wow.
on different places. And so he'll hand them out, he'll keep people, or sometimes he'll just be like, just stop taking photos. She needs to go to the bathroom. Stop this, or move crowds.
Yeah.
A lot of times you can have wardrobe malfunctions. I had somebody, I was working at a convention called PAX East last year. I had somebody come running down the hallway and literally ran right into me, knocked me down, and broke my armor.
Oh my goodness.
And it's not real armor, it's cosplay armor, so it's not going to be able to take an impact of any sort.
Yeah.
And I was wearing glass crystals, and they shattered
Oh my.
all over the floor. So he helped me. Get back up.
Yeah.
Got security,
Yeah.
and they took care of the guy who ran me over, and helped me clear the area so that we could find my crystal shards and find all the glass pieces and
Yeah.
sweep them up, and then get me to a bathroom to make sure that I could make sure I didn't have any glass shards stuck in
Yeah.
me.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
They do get crazy at the show.
They can.
They can get very crazy.
Especially some of the fans who are really big fans of different characters, they'll get really excited and want to hug you, want to touch you.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, they do want to hug you. I mean, whether it's kids or teenagers, even the adults who are comic book
kids
people.
are a little bit, you can give kids a little bit leeway, especially if you do
Yeah.
a Disney princess or any other kids cartoon. I do Astrid from How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
And like kids love it. And I don't mind hugging kids. It's the
Right.
grown adults that are a little bit,
Yeah.
which goes into another thing that's in the cosplay community. There's a big movement called Cosplay is Not Consent,
Yeah.
where a lot of times you'll find people, especially women, sometimes men, who have been sexually harassed or even assaulted
Wow.
because of the character they're cosplaying. Because a lot of video game characters and anime characters can be very, very sexy looking.
Yeah.
You've got these fighting games where they're wearing pretty much a bikini.
Yeah.
And people will be like, hey, can I take your picture? And then they'll aim it either so that they're just getting cleavage shot,
Yeah.
or just getting an up the skirt shot, or other things.
Yeah.
And it's kind of degrading, or not kind of, it is
It
degrading.
is degrading, yeah.
And kind of humiliating if you, even if you don't know
Right.
it's being taken, and then you go on and you Google yourself, or you Google, like, after a convention, I'll go and do a Google search of this character name cosplay at this convention, and I'll find pictures of myself.
Right.
And you don't know what people are posting.
Well, you don't. See, that's
So-
the thing with the internet. I mean, you're doomed.
Oh yeah.
You're doomed. And you can't get it off once it's on,
Oh, exactly.
which I think is so wrong.
But cosplay is not consent is a huge movement that's been going on to tell people that just because we're dressed as a character does not mean that we are that character. Just
Right.
because this character does one thing in a comic book or a video game or a movie does not mean that we are that character.
Right.
It's just like a stage production. If I were to go and be in Rocky Horror Picture Show as Columbia, it doesn't mean that I am that person and I'd be open to anything with anybody.
Right.
So,
People go into a fantasy. It's a whole fantasy
oh,
world.
exactly.
And I saw that a lot even years ago. It's a whole fantasy world. And you're part of that fantasy. You know, and because, like, I was working for Marvel Comics, so there was a protocol
Yeah.
during that time that you were that character. You were always in character.
Yep.
No matter who did what to you, you were in character.
Yep.
I mean, they got away with things like if Spider-Man and I were making an appearance at a mall and we arrived in a helicopter, they would throw a rope ladder down and say, get out.
Yep.
And you would, I mean, you were that person and you
Yep.
couldn't let the kids down.
Yep.
And you had to do this in a spandex outfit with your hands slippery and no peripheral vision. And I mean, that's what they got away with years ago. And
Yep.
now,
And they still do,
and they still do.
which is, well, they have a lot more precautions they can take nowadays.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is good.
Which
Like-
is very good. Yeah.
like
exactly.
non-skid spandex, which is fantastic.
Non-skid spandex.
Yeah, you can put slipper socks.
Yeah.
It's basically putting slipper socks, sticky stuff on your hands, so you have non-skid. Yeah.
Who knew? I mean, I knew about the socks because
Yeah.
we did that, but
yeah.
the hand thing was always a scary thing.
Oh yeah. You now can put liquid latex on your costume, and then you have non-stick or non-skid. It sticks.
It sticks.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at your costumes here.
Sure.
Steve, we're going to look at costumes. So whatever you need to do. Now, who is this?
So this is an original character. One of my good friends, her name is Kara, was a photography student at SMCC, I believe, and she did a huge project with all kinds of fantasy characters, and she's like, I really want you to do a fairy. And I said, sure. So I put a bunch of my costume pieces together and came up with a dark fae.
Wow, I love that. I love that a lot. I'm sorry. I have to lean over. Okay, go on.
So.
Oh, here's a close-up of it.
Yep. And I did all the makeup myself, the wig, the wings I made myself.
Wow. What did you make the wings out of?
What is it called? Not poster board, cardstock. It's
Cardstock.
yeah, cardstock and cellophane.
Wow. Okay. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Now, who's this?
This isn't actually a character. I also do modeling, and this is more of a classy photo shoot that I did.
Okay.
with
Beautiful.
costume pieces.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful. Wow. Love that. Love the shoes.
Thank you.
You have all this stuff,
I
right?
do. I own, if not, actually, I just sold the corset to somebody because I outgrew it.
You outgrew it.
I
Okay.
did. But I made the corset myself. I put all the bead trim on it, and I didn't make the shoes.
Okay. All
And
right.
the parasol I didn't make. I bought that
Okay.
because it's gorgeous.
Beautiful. Wow. Yeah. I hope the audience. Now this here, I mean, this was.
So this is a mashup, or what we call a mashup. In Batman, there's your character Poison Ivy, and you find the stuff online called fan art. It is when somebody who's not affiliated with the comics or not affiliated with whatever industry does an art piece based on the character.
Okay.
And so one of my favorite art pieces for Poison Ivy is a mashup called Disney Princess Poison Ivy. So this is Poison Ivy as if she was a Disney princess.
That's beautiful. The green is
Yeah.
gorgeous. Your makeup looks wonderful.
Thank you.
Absolutely gorgeous. I love that. Love that. Now who's this?
This is Merida from the Disney movie Brave. This is the one that I dressed up as.
Okay, no wonder it looked kind of familiar to me.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure.
Yeah, she's got this funky attitude that I really like about her. So
Wow.
that's her. This is one of my favorite costumes because it's historically accurate. I've got the even the fabric is as close to historically accurate as possible. It's a cotton wool blend.
See how involved this is? I mean, we just don't go and take something off the rack. I mean, when you say historically accurate, you really worked hard.
Oh, I did.
I know.
So, but
Okay.
and it's a two-piece costume. I didn't just do like a lot of people will. You see the white parts. I'll take they'll take the white part and just like sew it onto the dress. But
Yeah.
I've got two pieces. It's called a chemise, and you wear the chemise as underwear under
Okay.
the overdress.
Okay, all right. Okay. Wow. Oh,
And this is a character called Pixie. She's one of the X-Men. She's one of the younger generation of X-Men.
Okay.
She's the daughter of of a fairy. So she's technically not a mutant. She's technically a fae. But I fell in love with her costume. I'm anything fairy. I automatically love, whether it's dark or light or seelie, unseelie, anything.
and you made that whole
I
costume.
made everything, down from the shoes all the way up to the hair.
Those tights. What are those? I mean, there's a sheen to them.
It is spandex. The entire suit is spandex.
Wow.
It's a spandex bodysuit that goes up into a turtleneck. It's got, it's called metallic look or
Okay.
metallic spandex, where it's got or
Sheen
wet
to
look
it, yeah.
spandex.
Yeah.
It'll do that.
Wow.
And there's the same.
That is so adorable.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful work, Jenna.
Thank you. I made the ears, I made the wings. Actually, I made everything in the costume, including the wig. I took two wigs, I sewed them together to get a different fullness.
Yeah.
I made the armor pieces for the hands and the arms.
What is that made out of?
And that is made out of a self-adhesive thermal plastic called Warbla. You basically can use a heat gun and form it so that
Cool.
it'll melt. It won't melt, but it'll
It'll
get
bend?
pliable so that you
Okay.
can bend it. You can mold it around things. Like there's the little circle things and the
Okay.
X's on the boots.
I see that.
You take a positive and then you heat around it, and then you can dig it into the positive and you'll pop it out when it's dry, and it just looks really cool.
Okay.
And same
Great
character.
costume. Great costume. Love that.
and the boots were the worst.
Were
I
they?
ended up, I used a bit of craft foam and Warbler mixed together, and they were hard to move in and hard to bend.
You would never know that. I mean, because
Yeah.
it looks great with that top part being very stiff.
Yeah, but I ended up tearing them apart and redoing them. So,
Right.
and then it's great
This is
when
cool.
yeah. So a friend of mine, he goes by McDaniel McLeod online. He dresses as Mr. T, and he fits it perfectly.
Yeah.
And one of the best parts of cosplay is running into what we call a cos family, because
Okay.
your friends that you meet in cosplay become your family or
Okay.
become a second family to you.
All right.
And so you interact with them inside your group, inside characters, and
I can
sometimes
see that happening. Sure.
and then sometimes you get fun mashups that would never happen in the comics, or maybe they would because you've got all these different things that happen in comics now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
Wow. Now who's she?
this is Astrid from How to Train Your Dragon.
Okay.
She is one of my favorite characters.
Okay.
I made her. She's I love her because she's a Viking.
Yeah.
And my best friend is into historical reenactment, and she does a lot of her persona is Viking.
Okay.
And she's always trying to get me to do the Viking stuff.
So
So this
you've-
was my answer for
That's
for
a great
the Viking
answer.
part.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was a huge labor of knitting the sweater, getting the pauldrons. The pauldrons are the armor pieces up top. What are supposed to be dragon skulls,
Yeah.
or the little white things on the thing. My son came home from school one day. I was using Sculpey, and Sculpey is heavy. Once you bake it and dry it
Yeah.
and set it, it's heavy. So I had to have 4 times 16.
Okay.
Whatever number that is. I suck at math. 4 times 16 plus 12 of the skulls going around the belt, and 4 for the shoulders going around on me, and I'm like, this is so heavy. And so my son comes home from school he's like, look what I made at art today, and I'm like, what is this? What is this? I don't care what you made. What is this material you made out of?
Oh my God.
So I learned what model magic was.
Model magic.
And
Okay.
and air clay, and oh my God, this stuff is so light. And I learned how to seal it, how to sculpt with it, how to seal it, and it was the best thing ever. I went
Wow.
from having a 35-pound costume to maybe a 15-pound costume.
Big difference.
Oh yes, especially when you're trying to like jump
Right.
around in it, and yeah. So
Oh wow. Yeah, we gotta kind of go a little faster
yeah.
here.
All right. So Supergirl.
Supergirl is great.
Yeah, and she is one of my absolute favorites. I love her comic, the New 52. This is New 52 Supergirl. New 52 is when they redid Supergirl, all of the DC comic stuff.
At least it was DC.
Oh no, they did that for
Marvel?
too.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Oh,
anyways,
she's cool.
she is wonderful, and
She's like, there was a Miss Captain America.
yes, not her.
Not her.
No,
No.
no. There is a Miss Captain. I think she's at the end.
Okay.
But Supergirl, I actually do stuff with a group called Boston Superheroes.
Uh-huh.
And we go to children's events for the Children's Hospital down in Boston or the Patriot Stadium, and I'll dress up as Supergirl, and I'll be Supergirl for them.
Cool. Now,
And
who's this?
This is Batgirl.
Batgirl.
Yep.
Okay.
Batgirl is yellow, Batwoman is red.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
That's how I keep it straight. I'm actually revamping her, but this is not my cosplay. This is actually body paint.
That's body paint?
That is all body paint.
You're naked?
No, I've got underwear and stuff on top.
Okay.
But, most of the
I
black.
would have never guessed because there was
know.
a show on Sci-Fi
Oh, I know.
that the Vegas body paint, which
Oh,
was
yeah. Yep.
amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got pasties and underwear
Okay.
just 'cause. But yeah,
Cool.
and this is another, I like Batman a lot.
Yeah.
Or Gotham verse. Black Canary. She has no, oh no, I take that back. She does have superpowers, but she doesn't use them very often.
Yeah.
She has her canary cry. She,
What is her canary cry?
it's basically she yells and it's a supersonic blast.
Oh, okay.
But she mostly fights, like
Okay.
hand-to-hand combat. A lot of people recognize Jessica Rabbit from
Yeah.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Right. Love that.
And another DC villain, Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn.
I love Harley Quinn. She's one of my favorites.
Wow.
And all right, so
All
this
right.
is the fake Captain America, or FemCap is what
We have
a
to
lot
find the photo I have and show it to you
of.
this from
Okay.
years ago.
Oh, okay, that would be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a character called named Stephanie Rogers. She's also known as the American Dream, and yeah,
She's
a lot
cool.
of people think of her as Captain America. She's a female version of Captain
You
America.
made that costume also?
This one I did not.
Okay.
My friends at Phoenix Latex did,
Uh-huh.
and they're fantastic.
That's
I
a-
made the wig though.
Yeah. Okay.
and
You made the wig.
I made the wig and the mask.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
yep.
Great.
And my photographer made the belly button.
Okay.
This is actually the last photo set that I sent you. She is from Nintendo. Her name is Princess Zelda. She is from the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess game.
Okay.
I personally have not played the game, but it's my son's favorite game, and every year I let him pick a character for me.
Okay.
And he does Link, which is the main character. He kind of looks like Peter Pan
Okay.
with long blonde hair,
Uh-huh.
and she is the princess that he has to save
Love
in
it.
every game. So, but I made every single thing on there,
Wow.
including
Beautiful.
the
Beautiful.
wig, the ears, the armor, and that's actually the costume I was wearing when I got knocked down and it broke.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
Gorgeous. I mean, you just melt into all this. You're like a chameleon.
I try.
But you are. But you are. Wow. Great costume.
Thank you.
You have done so much. And you're so young. But it's amazing. I mean, you approach these with such analytical approach, but yet you love the characters. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
I can see that. And I can see it when you're doing the photo shoots. It's amazing. I love it. So now tell me, when's your next gig coming up?
Oh goodness. My next gig is going to be at Bangor Comic and Toy Con, the first, April 8th, 9th, and 10th up in Bangor.
Okay.
I'll be helping run the cosplay, everything cosplay there.
Wow.
I work with a group called MACE, Maine Association of Cosplay Enthusiasts. I'm one of their head admin for creative support. People will join our group to do meetups so they can get together and cosplay. We'll be running some panels there. We'll be doing the cosplay death match, where people will get up on stage and we'll have people, it'll be like a crowd vote of who wins over who if said characters
How
fought.
cool.
But we do a lot of meetups all over the state. And people will come on to our group and be like, I want to make this character. How would somebody help? Or how would somebody else do it? And so I'll help with that or help people find things.
Amazing. It's a whole world.
It is.
It's a whole world. It has been going. They used to have cosplay on Sci-Fi, which I watched it all the time. Now they have Face Off,
Yeah.
which I love Face Off.
Actually, Face Off is older than their cosplay show.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have been watching Face Off. And, you know, they have these shows that come on that show a whole different group of people that really have a love for either costuming or playing the character or doing the makeup and doing all I just love that stuff. It's great. And what you're doing and what you're bringing forward is so much fun. And, I mean, I want you to come back on the show again.
Absolutely.
I want you to bring your mannequin.
Uh-huh.
She has a mannequin she was going to bring.
Yeah, it kind of broke in half when I was trying to get out the door.
Broken half.
But
It's
But I'll
like,
fix it.
I know you will. But I just think it's great what you're doing. And of course, this is not how Jenna really looks with the ears, but you really use those ears. I
Oh, I
saw
do. I love my ears.
your ears look great. So, is there anything you want to tell the audience before we kind of sign off here?
I don't know.
I mean, if they want to cosplay or get
Oh,
involved.
if they want to cosplay, there's so many groups that you can contact,
Okay.
especially here in Maine. Look up on Facebook if you type in MACE, Maine Association of Cosplay Enthusiasts is a great place to get started.
All right, great.
I'm running a giveaway on my fan page. I just got to 9,500 fans on Facebook.
Oh my God, Jenna.
So I'm running a giveaway of what's in the box. I've got a big box full of stuff. I posted a picture of all kinds of stuff that is in the box, and there's going to be more.
Wow. So everybody, go online, go to Facebook, and type in MACE.
Yeah, MACE for MACE, Maine Association of Cosplay, or Kitten and Strings Cosplay. That's
Kitten
me.
and Strings.
Yeah, I go by Kitten and Strings.
I love it. Where, this is great. You would be my daughter. Anyway, I think I'm so happy you took the time to come here to be on the show, which I think is great. And we're going to kind of, I think, beam you up.
Yeah, I've been told. I'm kind of excited.
She's going to be beamed up. And I'm sure in Biddeford you've never seen anybody be beamed up. So I want to thank all of you for watching our show today. And want you to come back. Jenna will be back again with new ideas and new things. We'll expand the show when she comes on for whatever she wants to do. So on that note, we're going to beam you up.
All right.
Thank you, dear.
Both of you look to the center camera now. The center camera. Okay, hold it right there. Freeze. Don't move. Don't laugh, Tony. Okay, now Tony, you turn around, just smile, and Tony, you just, wait, hold on. First you have to leave, I'm sorry. Jenna has to run out. All right. And now, Tony, you just smile and look back at the couch.
She's gone. She was beamed up. Oh, Jenna was great.
Okay, we'll sign off.
So, it's never happened in Biddeford before. So you're the first to see it. So have a good day. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.